السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا وسهلا إلى مركز العلوم والحكمة Remote Study. Welcome to the sixth part of our lesson series from the book titled Arabic Grammar Without Tears. I am Mudaris Sulaiman Ali. Happy listening. We are going to learn from this part of the lessons the principles of word derivation in Arabic. I repeat, we are going to learn from this part of the lessons the principles of word derivation in Arabic under the first pattern. Fa'ala yaf'alu. Fa'ala yaf'alu. Remember I told us in the previous lessons that your ainul fi'li is very important as far as sarfu is concerned. Your ainul fi'li is very important. That is where the work of sarfu lies. Your ainul fi'li, ainul kalima is very important. So pattern in Arabic is waznu. Waznu, pattern. Just like mudu or scale that is used in the market to measure beans or rice. So waznu, pattern. And the plural form is awzan. Awzan, patterns. So the word or the kalima or the kalimat in Arabic that we measure using the waznu is referred to as mawzoon. Mawzoon, just like rice and beans in the market. Mawzoon, the pattern word. Words like kataba, dhahaba, jalasa. So you refer to them as mawzoon. So, and this lesson is being restricted to al-mujarradu thulathi. Al-mujarradu thulathi, a three-letter verb. Al-mujarradu thulathi, a three radical verb. Don't be confused by grammar. So a three radical simply means three letter. Al-mujarradu thulathi, a three radical verbs. لعلك فهمت? I hope you understand. MashaAllah. So فعل يفعل. التصريف فتح. So we are going to learn how to derive more words from the single word fataha, which means to open. Madin, past tense. Mudari'un, present tense. Amr, commandment. Nahajun, prohibition. Now to carry out the word derivation, the tasrif of the word fataha. Fataha, he opened or he has opened. Yaftahu, he is opening or he opens. It has two meanings. Amr, iftah, open. Nahayu, la taftah, don't open. Now the masdar. Fatihun, opening. Just like saying eating, drinking, jumping. Fatihun, opening. The fa'il. Fatihun, the one who opened. Maf'ul. Maftuhun, what has been opened. Since the word could make it to the position of maf'ul, that means the verb fataha is muta'addi. The verb fataha is muta'addi, not lazim. Muta'addin, transitive verb. لعلك فهمت? I hope you understand. MashaAllah. So استعمال الكلمات المصرفة, the usage of the conjugated words. So how do we now make use of those words in a meaningful sentence? Wahid, number one. فتح سليمان الباب. فتح سليمان الباب. Sulaiman has opened the door. So فتح is an example of فعل ماضٍ. اثنان, number two. يفتح زيد أبواب المسجد. I repeat. يفتح زيد أبواب المسجد. يفتح زيد أبواب المسجد. Zaid is opening أبواب المسجد, the doors of the mosque. So يفتح is an example of فعل مضارع. ثلاثة, number three. أريد فتح الباب. That simply means I want to open the door, which means أريد أن أفتح الباب. You are still saying the same thing. أريد فتح الباب or أريد أن أفتح الباب. It means I want to open the door. A fatih is an example of masdar. That is the masdar of fataha yaftahu. Arba'a, number four. Man fatihul bab, who opened the door. Now you are asking about the person who opened the door. So the word used to describe such person in Arabic, in Sarf, is called fa'ilun, following the same pattern, fatihun, man fatihul bab, who opened the door. So fatih is an example of fa'il. Khamsa, number 5, al-bab maftuh. Al-babu maftuhun, the door is open. Or al-bab maftuh, the door has been opened. So maftuh is an example of maf'ul, following the same pattern. Maf'ul, maftuh. Sitta, number 6. Sitta, number 6. Iftahil baba, ya Zayd. Iftahil baba, open the door. Ya Zayd, Zayd. So iftah is an example of amr, commandment. La'allaka fahimt? I hope you understand. MashaAllah. So now, talking about the principle of how amr or nahayu is derived from mudaro. I told us in the previous lesson that once you know your mudaro, you can easily derive your amr and nahayu from it. So now deriving amr from mudaro, let's take the verb yajlis for instance. So yajlis, now to derive amr from yajlis, step 1, you drop yaun and replace it with alifun. Step 2, you give sukun to the last letter. And the vowel sound of the third letter determine the kind of vowel sound you are going to give your alif. Remember I told us in the previous lessons that if the third letter is carrying fataha, give the alif kasra. If it is kasra, give the alif kasra. If it is dhamma, give the alif dhamma. So now you give kasra in 2 places. If the third letter is carrying fataha or kasra, and you give dhamma in 1 place. If the third letter is carrying dhamma. So that's how you go about it. Very simple. Make sure you master it. So the amr from yajlis is ijlis. So you count your letters, starting with the alif. Alifun is 1, jimun is 2, lamun is 3. And lamun is taking kasra. That means you are going to read your alif with kasra. So the amr from yajlis is ijlis. From yaktub is uktub. From yafta is iftah. La'allaka fahimt? I hope you understand. The same principle is applicable to nahayu. Okay, you are having yajlis as modaro. Now you want to derive nahayu. So all you need to do is to detach yaun and attach ta'un. So yajlis will now become la tajlis. Then you give sukun to the last letter. As you know, the sukun is the major sign of amr and nahayu in sarf. La'allaka fahimt? I hope you understand. MashaAllah. So now the tasrif of qata'a. A tasrif of qata'a, the word derivation under the word qata'a, which means to cut. A qata'a, that is madin, he has cut or he cut. Yaqta'u, he is cutting or he cut. That is mudaro. Amr, iqta', cut. Nahayu, la taqta', don't cut. Masdar, qati'un, cutting. Fa'il, qati'un, the one who cut. Maf'ul, maqtu'un, what has been cut. Since there is maf'ul for the word qata'a during the tasrif, that means the verb qata'a is muta'addin, transitive verb, not lazim. La'allaka fahimt? I hope you understand. MashaAllah. Isti'malul kalimat al-musarrafa. Now the usage of the conjugated ways, the derived ways. So how do we make use of them in a meaningful sentence? Wahid, number 1. Qata'at Zainab shajara. Qata'at Zainab shajara. Zainab has cut a tree. So qata'at is an example of fi'ilun madin. Ithnan, number 2. Taqta'u Zainab shajara. Zainab is cutting a tree. So taqta'u is an example of fi'ilun mudaru. Thalatha, number 3. Iqta'i hadha al-habla ya Zainab. Iqta'i, cut. Hadha al-habla, this rope, or break this rope. Ya Zainab, iqta'i, cut. Hadha al-habla, this rope. Ya Zainab, Zainab. So iqta'i is an example of amr. Arba'a, number 4. La taqta'i hadha al-habla ya Zainab. La taqta'i, don't cut. Hadha al-habla, this rope. Ya Zainab, Zainab. So la taqta'i is an example of nahy. Khamsa, number 5. Uridu qata al-habl, I want to cut the rope. So qatu is an example of masdar. Qatu is the masdar of qata'a yaqta'u. La'allaka fahimt? I hope you understand. MashaAllah. Sitta, number 6. Man al-qati'a لتلك الشجرة. من القاطعة؟ Who cut لتلك الشجرة? That tree. من القاطعة لتلك الشجرة? Who cut that tree? Now you are asking the question about the person who cut the tree. So the right form of word to be used is فاعل قاطع, the one who cut. من القاطع لتلك الشجرة. li means for. So who is the one that cut, or who was the cutter? لتلك الشجرة, for that tree. You are simply saying who cut the tree. That is the meaning. لعلك فهمت؟ 7. Number 7. الشجرة مقطوعة. الشجرة مقطوعة. The tree has been cut. الشجرة مقطوعة. The tree has been cut. So مقطوعة is an example of مفعول, while القاطعة is an example of فاعل in صرف. 8. من القاطع لهذا الحبل. من القاطع, who cut لهذا الحبل, this rope. You are asking about the person who did the cutting to the rope. So that is fa'il. So the right word to be used to describe the person is fa'ilun, following the same pattern. Qati'un. Man al-qati'u li hadha al-habl. Who cut this rope? So al-qati'u is an example of fa'ilun in sarf. Tisya, number 9. Tisya, number 9. Qata'a Ahmad al-habla. Qata'a Ahmad al-habla. Ahmad has cut the rope. So qata'a is an example of fi'ilun madin in sarf. Ashara, number 10. يقطع أحمد الحبل. يقطع أحمد الحبل. Ahmad is cutting the rope. So يقطع. يقطع is an example of فعل المضارع. لعلك فهمت? I hope you understand. ما شاء الله. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك. أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت. أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. مع السلامة وإلى اللقاء آخر.